Welcome back to Chaos and Conversation, episode 41. Dave Matthews song, actually, right there. Shawn, didn't know if you knew that. I have been to 15 Dave Matthews concerts. In 1 year, I got to see Eminem at Comerica and as well as Dave Matthews when it opened in Detroit. Little known fact, but it's not why we're here today. Welcome back once again to Chaos and Conversation with our boy, Shawn Coleman. I'm Michael Lofton, and we're doing a pick six today, pick six, and to go in with your weekend plans. And it's homecoming at Butler University. It also means the Indianapolis Colts are going to travel to Nashville, who just announced a new stadium, which we got to talk about in a little bit later on today. But
it's homecoming. It's homecoming for Butler University. It's homecoming for the University of Tennessee Vols, who are going to be playing my alma mater, the University of Tennessee at Martin Skyhawks, and they're honoring Pat Head Summit during homecoming weekend. So it's awesome. Oh. And by the way, for anybody who's listening to this show right now, the Vols beat fucking Bama. You're welcome.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Yes,
yeah,
they
go
did.
Vols. Go Vols. Yeah. Go Vols. Amen. Amen. Oh, man, just phenomenal stuff, brother. Phenomenal stuff. I'm so excited about the weekend, obviously, for you, but we're going to get into that in just a little bit. But the NBA started, and that's what brought us together, our love of basketball, your love of John Stockton, my love of Isaiah Thomas, and everything in between. But John Morant.
Yep. Magical, right?
First team All-NBA, John Morant, if he stays healthy, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think so, especially with the Grizzlies kind of doubling down on their youth and Jaren Jackson Jr. being out. I mean, if John Morant puts together another season like he did last year and he does it over 75 games, I definitely think that he can. Legitimately, though, it's going to be hard to do because you've got Luka, you got Steph, you got Trey, you got just several others. You got seems like a rejuvenated James Harden. So, you've got several that are out there that could contend for that first team All-NBA. But I think could Ja potentially, I think Ja year in and year out is one over the next decade probably is one of the 10 or 12 best bets in the league to be on one of the All-NBA teams. I think that's a better way of putting it. He may get one or two first-team All-NBAs. He could be top 5 MVP one or two times in his career. Was he? I think he was 7th last year. But my point is that I don't necessarily want to say he's going to make All-NBA, first-team All-NBA, but hey, if he does, I'm here for it. So.
Absolutely. I thought he was fantastic against the Knicks last night. Granted, it's the Knicks, but at the same time, let's be mindful about what they are, who they are. And that was a gutty performance. I'm not sure I love the team without Jaren from a defensive perspective. It also doesn't help that Desmond Bane decided to shoot
6 of 20.
One of the worst performances, 6-22, one of the worst performances I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Both in college or on the professional level. Your thoughts there?
I'm not necessarily concerned, but there is definitely that is something that definitely rolled over from the preseason. I wonder if he's pressing a little bit, coming off the what he did is in a breakout season, expectation high for him as well with Jaren being out. I'm sure he probably is a little bit, but he should be fine. He's mature, he's focused, he'll be able to get the job done. But Santi Aldama and John Conchar was where it at last night. A boy from your neck of the woods out there in Indiana.
Yes, indeed.
Mr. Jitty, 30 points, 22 rebounds, 7 threes, only 1 turnover, only 1 foul combined between them. So just an overall gutsy performance from our supporting cast.
Yeah, that was really fun, and it made me think of, obviously, that always got to be able to talk Grizzlies with you. As you know, I share that love, specifically with Coach Blake Ahern there, my former boss. So anytime we're going to talk basketball, we're definitely going to talk some Grizzlies even just for a little bit. But we're going to go quickly because we didn't do an NBA preview show. There's reasons for that because I don't want to hold you to any predictions because things are fluid this year, very much more fluid.
And I'm horrible with predictions as well, so it's not like, I'm horrible with predictions. So,
a guy that you and I have had some very back and forth, good conversations on, healthy discussions, is your Vegas odds-on favorite to win the MVP, and that is one Luka Doncic, who I consider the third best player in the league after this past playoffs. Because I like to do rankings after the playoffs. They're fresh. Yeah. What happens in May and June definitely matters for me, and him beating Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and the Phoenix Suns made way a world of difference for me. So that's where I'm at with it. He's the odds-on favorite. Is that who you're picking to win the MVP?
I think this is the year he puts it together. I still, it's going to depend for me, though. I think that he should be the favorite, but, do you award that to the guy who may not even win his own division? I think that's something that stands out. It's going to be interesting. I think that the Southwestern Conference is going to, with how not necessarily, it's loaded, don't get me wrong. And I wonder if that kind of, makes the Mavericks and the Pelicans and the Grizzlies win totals that many have for maybe a little bit lower than many may think. And you've got a three-way race for most of the season. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, I think that, Doncic is going to put it together this year. And, even if it's just, Jokic, last year won the MVP and the Denver was sixth, I believe, fifth or sixth. And so, you've got precedent there. I think that Doncic can do, especially if they wind up pushing for a top 3 seed in the West unexpectedly, then sure. I think that Doncic will be the MVP.
All right. A couple more lightning rounds for you here as we're doing our pick 6. Trying to be efficient here. Most improved player?
Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards has my vote.
Because he's going to take the biggest leap.
I believe so. I think that he probably has that best chance to go because they always seem to do it to the guy who goes first time All NBA. I think that he can do it. I think Tyrese Maxey may be there. Perhaps
okay. Like that pick too.
Perhaps LaMelo Ball makes in his third year makes that leap. But I think that Anthony Edwards is the guy.
Speaking of which, Minnesota. Your full thoughts on them?
They are
4 seed or better.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to get top 4 seed. It potentially could be there. I do like Gobert's, ability to anchor that defense. I question, just how well him and Cat are going to fit. But, hey, I always liked Minnesota coming right out and saying after they got Gobert, we looked at what was going to give us the best chance to go after it over the next few seasons with the core that we have, and it was Gobert. It may be a unique setup, but we're going to try to make it work. I don't necessarily know if they get top 4 seed. They may be 6th, 7th, something along those lines. But I can't necessarily go with them top 4 because I do think at the end of the day, Denver wins that division.
Speaking of Rudy, I just saw yesterday, just very quickly on the Timberwolves, Rudy led the T-Wolves in shots yesterday. That surprised me.
Yeah, you don't want to.
Formula.
You don't want to sit there and have that be the case most nights, but hey, kudos to him for having the aggressiveness to make the most of it. Perhaps they feel that could be a hidden element to their offense, is him being a bit more aggressive when it comes to the shots. So,
yep. Third defensive player of the year as we wrap up NBA talk.
I think it's going to be Giannis. I think I think Gobert, will be right there. Bam will be right there as well, but I think it's going to be Giannis.
I'm with that as well. I love those picks. Let's revisit. Before the Christmas break there, just to get a feel, because that's when folks say the NBA season kind of has the stage to itself, even though the NFL would say that we're going to play a game anyway. But that'll be fun to see. Memphis, last thing for you. Are you guys going to stay in the playoffs hunt, meaning that 7 or 6 and above before Jaren gets back, or you guys are going to have to make a run?
I think that there may be a chance that we have to make a run. I think that it's going to be an interesting weekend. We've got Houston on Friday night, and then we got Dallas on Saturday night. It'd be great to be able to, get that win over Dallas, and then be at least a game up on them, and already have won a game against them. But we may have to make a run. I still think the Grizzlies get that 50 to 52 win plateau, getting that 4th or 5th spot in the West, and I'll be honest with you, I think they win the Southwest Division.
Okay. Loving the energy, my brother. That makes me happy to hear you Talking like that. All right. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Let's roll over to third of the season is done in college football. Or, excuse me, third of the season is done in the NFL. Excuse me, folks. And who is your MVP thus far in the NFL?
That's a good question. A few weeks ago, I was going to say it was Lamar. I don't really think that Jalen Hurts is the MVP. He's playing incredible football. But I probably would either go Lamar or maybe Mahomes. But I think I'm going to go Lamar. I do think that he's probably been the most impressive. I know he's struggled a bit here recently. But I think that I like Lamar. I think that at the end of the day, it's going to come down to one of Lamar, Josh Allen, or Mahomes. But I'll go Lamar as of right now, just because of when it comes to the offenses of those three teams. When you look at them together, Lamar's got a lot less to work with. So I think I'm going to go with Lamar so far.
Winning at Baltimore, winning opening night against the Los Angeles Rams, and this past Sunday, that last drive winning at Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
I think Josh Allen has it right now.
Yeah,
that's me.
And I'll be honest with you. My ability to look at the stats. I'm sure Allen is absolutely killing the stats. I feel like Lamar's had. Allen probably will do it because of the success of the team. I just think Lamar has shown a bit higher individual ceiling so far this year. So a third of the way through the season, if Allen keeps winning at this clip, they're going winning 14 games. I'll probably give it to him. But you easily could go Lamar versus Allen, for the 1 and 2 right now. But I still stick with Lamar. But you're not going to sit here and get any argument from me if it's Allen. So
feel that. All right. Well, another thing we'll have to revisit there. You and I were higher on the Miami Dolphins, and unfortunately, just things happened with Tua. Then we were holding strongly against the Bills. We said 11.5. We said forget it, over. Doesn't matter. Just take the over with them. But the AFC has gone a little bit like this.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk about one game this Sunday, which I think actually could propel, and maybe the demise of the Tennessee Titans may have been greatly exaggerated, which we will find out and talk on Sunday or talk to later today about Sunday's game. But if you had to talk about your NFC, AFC championship games, we both did not have the Giants and the Jets being a combined 9-3 thus far. Both playing winning football, both have great coaches, in my opinion. And I think maybe the coordinator experience have helped on both sides. Who would you say is your NFC championship game and AFC championship game a third way of the season being done?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to go Chiefs, Bills in the AFC title game. And, man, I don't know. The NFC, I mean, it's hard not to go with the Eagles in that AFC or in the NFC title game. I'll probably go Eagles, and let's see. I don't know.
They're good, aren't they?
I almost want to say Cowboys, especially with Dak coming back. I don't necessarily know if that's going to work out, but I'll go Bills Chiefs in the AFC, and then I'll go Vikings Eagles in the NFC. I know that that's probably chalk based off best records, but the Vikings are playing very balanced football right now. And Justin Jefferson is stepping up. But the thing that stands out to me about the Vikings is that they're winning in different ways, right? Like Kirk Cousins is not making mistakes to lose them the games. Justin Jefferson has stepped up. Dalvin Cook stepped up last week. That defense getting some key pieces back from last year. They look good. So I think the Eagles right now are the best team in the NFC. But the Vikings surprisingly have that claim to the number 2 stake in an NFC that's wide open. They on paper right now are clearly the second best NFC team. So,
okay. I think the folks would be very, very happy with Chiefs Bills. I think CBS is doing cartwheels to have Jim Nantz and Tony Romo be able to have that game. And I think that Fox, especially with their changes with the announcers, wouldn't mind having Eagles Cowboys. I think they wouldn't mind having Cowboys 49ers in a surprise. But also Eagles, Vikings, the Kirk Cousins factor. I don't know if everybody's going crazy about that, but maybe they're ready. If it comes down to health, they always have a little bit of starting, and Dalvin Cook gets hurt. They're just not as good. They're not as balanced. But what's telling you different about this year, you think?
I talk high floor a lot when we do. By the way, I'll
yes,
love
that.
I'll let me do this first. I'm going to change my MVP because I was completely off. Because, like I said, I haven't really paid attention to Lamar the past few weeks. We're going to go Josh Allen MVP.
All right, look at that, us together. Too much conversation. We're going to have some chaos here soon.
But the thing that I'll say is this: is that when it comes to the Eagles and the Vikings, it's that high floor focus. It's the balance of the fact that the Eagles' defense is playing better than anticipated. Their run game is probably top notch in the NFL, up there against anybody's. But you've also got the passing element now with Goddard as well as A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts showing he could throw the ball. I just think that they've got the most consistency. They've got the highest floor game in and game out, with also a ceiling that could beat anybody in the NFC. So that's why I think that both of them have a very good shot. Now, I will put it to you this way. I still, if you were to ask me, Shawn, you get a Eagles-Vikings NFC Championship game or you get the field, what percentage odds are you that it's going to be Eagles-Vikings or that it's going to be the field replacing at least one of those teams? I'll go 65-35, the field replacing both of those, or replacing at least one of those teams. But my point is that if I were to look at placing the highest odds on a particular matchup in the NFC title game, it'd be Vikings-Eagles right now.
All right. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to put Kirk Cousins in an NFC Championship game. I can't believe I'm saying this as a supporter of the Commanders, but I think in Eagles-Cowboys, you know what? No, we're not going to put Dallas in there because I just don't think – I want to see more of Dak. Ask me in 6 weeks. I love Dallas's high potential on defense.
Yeah.
Nervous about McCarthy a little bit coaching-wise. But right now the Eagles are looking like they are going to get the bye. I think they can easily beat Tampa Bay this year. I think they've improved enough, and I don't think Tampa Bay is as balanced. And yeah, I'll hold myself to it. I'm going to go Philly, San Francisco.
We'll see. Garoppolo wins playoff games. I'm not saying he wins it by himself, but he does win playoff games. So I think you're fine there. They're just going to have to avoid laying duds like they did against the Falcons and they've done against the Bears so far this season. So
100%. And I think that I would say the Bears is a little bit more understandable because of the rain and the monsoon. The Falcons, Atlanta is actually 6-0 when it comes to betting in terms of they have covered the spread each and every week. And Arthur Smith doing a heck of a job. Much better than we thought.
Showing his worth, yes, sir. And Mariota's.
Yes, indeed.
Mariota's not doing anything to show that he's going to be a long-term answer for anybody at quarterback, but that just goes with that being the case, that just adds extra proof that Arthur Smith's doing what he needs to do. So kudos to him.
Oh, I could see Marcus Mariota being the – we'll just have the carousel. Maybe he's going to be the coach of or quarterback of the Colts next year at this rate. Yeah. Who knows? But absolutely got to give it up for Arthur Smith there. All right, that takes us past our NFL segment. That was really good, Shawn. We got that. That was good. It's time to talk about something that is dear to us on a personal level.
It absolutely is.
And I can't believe we are having this discussion the 20th of October, but here we are. How confident should we be? Let's just do this. Let's separate them. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But let's get ahead of ourselves. Maybe this will be the chaos part. How confident should we be on a scale of 1 to 10 about Tennessee and Michigan first making the New Year's Six?
Oh, I'm putting 90%. Well, let me put this back. Let me put it back. I'll go 90%. I'll go 90% Tennessee and probably Michigan as well. I'll be honest, I'll have to look up Michigan's schedule the rest of the way. But if both teams are undefeated by the time Tennessee plays Georgia and by the time that Michigan plays Ohio State, I think that that's going to be the only loss on neither of these teams' schedules. So, yeah, I definitely would put them both in the New Year's Six both. Unless Illinois has something for Michigan, but I don't think Illinois has got the oomph in them to get it done. So I'll go 90% for both teams.
Next week, I think, is Georgia, Florida, the cocktail party. Richardson's, once again, his ceiling's great, right? When he's on, he is fun to watch. And you had to even battle him out with some great plays, but I think Georgia's defense has maybe settled in, and they always just kind of, that's the one. Kirby gets up for that,
Yeah.
They get it rolling.
And Tennessee's
I'm going to say 100%. Michigan will be in a New Year's Six Bowl 100%. And I still think we get there even at 10-2,
sure,
based upon the schedule. And the only loss that I think we would potentially, you know what? The worst Michigan will do this year is go 11-1 in the regular season. We're not losing to Michigan State next week. We'll go into that a little bit more next week. I'm going to save it for Michigan State week. But that is, and I'm willing actually to go even further here. I think Tennessee is just much better offensively than Kentucky, and that's not to take anything from Levis. I think he's fantastic. I don't think they have the weapons, and we have another, and Jalen Smith. He was awesome this weekend.
Yeah.
He torched Alabama. 100% Michigan and Tennessee will be in the New Year's Six Bowl. Next question. Scale of 1 to 10. Tennessee and Michigan making the college football playoff.
20% Tennessee. 15
1 to 10, you're giving me 2 out of 10?
Yeah, 2 out of 10 for Tennessee, and I'll give 1.5 for Michigan. Because I think that Tennessee has a better chance of beating Georgia than Michigan does Ohio State.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that, and that's because I think Tennessee has a 55% chance of beating Georgia, even at Georgia.
Well, and
I think we have a 40% chance of beating Ohio State.
And I'll put it to you this way, because I also think that you also have to look at it to where, okay, what are the alternatives to get to the national championship picture? I think if you see Ohio State, I think it's going to be interesting because you look at it. So you've got the winner of Ohio State, Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Clemson. You've got the winner of Tennessee, Georgia. And those three teams are likely going to go to the national title game or to the playoff, And then from there, what happens, if so, for instance, I'm not going to go into all the different scenarios. I think that if Tennessee loses, their schedule will allow for them to probably have the best resume of a one-loss team to get into the playoff. Now, that means that I think they have the best resume. If you stack them up against a one-loss Alabama team for that 4th spot in the playoff, I'm sure Ohio State gets it. Ohio State. But I do think that Tennessee, even if they lose to Georgia, they still have a chance. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'll give 20% Tennessee, 15% Michigan.
The pathway for Tennessee to still make it one loss is Tennessee to lose to Georgia, and we would need an upset in the SEC West in beating Georgia.
Well,
I still am nervous that they may not give it to you head to head, but only if Georgia finds a second loss, and I don't know whether that's possible.
Actually, to me, the thing that stands out is Alabama getting a second loss. Because if Tennessee,
I think that may happen.
Yeah. If Tennessee loses to Georgia and then Georgia goes undefeated and they win the SEC title game, well, then Tennessee's the second best team in the SEC.
They're getting in.
Without doubt. They're the only other one-loss team, and they beat Bama. So that's what stands out to me. And I think that also what stands out is if you take away the winner of Ohio State, Michigan, if you take away Georgia and you take away Clemson, who I think probably has the best outside shot of remaining undefeated, those three teams are in the playoffs, and then you've got all these other teams with one loss. Who's got the best win out of all those one-loss teams? It's Tennessee over Bama in that instance, I feel. So to my point is that if Tennessee loses to Georgia, I think that their best odds of going to the college football playoff is actually Georgia winning the SEC title game.
That makes sense. So let's go Wow. I actually think we may be at 50% for the Vols to make the college football playoff.
I don't think we're that high. I just don't like the voting being there. I don't think we're that high. Let's put it this way. I'm not going to sit here and put the odds. I'm not going to sit here and get worked up with the odds being that high. So,
well, let's just say if you make it to Atlanta, you're not losing in Atlanta. I do believe that. I don't think there's an SEC West team that can beat you.
Oh, Bama can beat us all day long. If Bama plays disciplined football, I think they can beat us. Bryce Young was not 100%. Bama played undisciplined. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here trying to take anything away from Tennessee. We legitimately beat them. Our win was not a fluke. For anybody listening to this, Tennessee beating Bama was not a fluke. But Bama remains the better team on paper due to their defense mainly. I think on a neutral site field, they absolutely can beat us, and they'll be the favorites again. But I will say this: if we make it to Atlanta and we lose the SEC title game, that to me is the second best odds of us making it to the college football playoff, other than us just running the table.
Okay.
But I also will say this, and anybody who wants to sit here and make fun of me for saying this, that's fine. I again rest my case that no team in college football has a tougher path to go through to ultimately get to where they want to go than Tennessee. Because they're the only team that year in and year out has to play Bama and Georgia, and if they make it to the SEC title game, they got to play Bama a second time.
That's I can't argue with that point by any stretch of the means, unless the SEC changes up some situations with the Texas Oklahoma situation. That'll be interesting for us to monitor. But absolutely, right now, the hardest path to get to the college football playoff is
this year that may help
the University of Tennessee.
This year, that it may actually be a benefit to help them get to where they want to go. So,
and the other issue is, say that you guys run the table and Bama beats you in the rematch, and Bama has one loss, and then they will get in.
Yeah.
But then you will get in.
Correct.
As what happened with Georgia and Alabama last year.
Yeah, correct.
And then
absolutely,
the only way Michigan gets in my opinion, I thought maybe the voters would give it. We need Clemson to lose once. Don't know if it's going to happen. Ideally, it'd be fantastic if they could lose to Syracuse. Don't see that happening. Got USC out of the way. Utah. Now I need Oregon. Utah maybe to beat Oregon in the Pac-12 game. Then they have the 2 losses. And maybe need Texas to run the table. And then Michigan can lose to Ohio State. And the voters will be – if it's a good game, then we may have 2 SEC, 2 Big Ten teams. And then everybody in the NCAA, everybody in college football hates us. So that'll be great. Hello, we don't care. It'll be fantastic because we're spending the most money. And everybody look at the ratings every week. It's Big Ten and SEC. So I'm here. That's exactly what I want to see. I'm in if it's Tennessee and Bama. And I would love it if it's Ohio State, Michigan. Phenomenal. I'm in. So,
agreed.
All right. Let's get into our chaos last part, because now we're both agreeing here. The AFC South. Does it end this week, Shawn?
I hope so. I hope it does. But I don't think that it does. Don't get me wrong. Because if Tennessee wins, they're at 4-2, and the Colts are at 3-1. But a big thing is that the Colts have beat Kansas City and they've beat Denver so far this year. And I think Denver eventually at some point plays better football. And that's going to be towards the end of the year. Now, neither of these teams, y'all have not played Philly yet, have you? Yeah, because my point is that y'all played Kansas City.
That's coming up. That's right.
Yeah, we've not. So, see, Tennessee still has Denver. Tennessee still has the Chargers. Tennessee's schedule is pretty easy right now. And if we beat the Colts, that's great. But I don't think that this is over by any stretch of the imagination, because there's still plenty of hard games that Tennessee has to manage through. And it's not like that even if we get healthy, we're going to sit here and be a top-tier team. We just don't have that talent. And unless we trade for a wide receiver of some sort, like an Elijah Moore or a DJ Moore or something along those lines, I just don't see Tennessee really getting to that level. So, yeah, we're in a good spot, and I think that we probably do wind up winning it, but I don't think it's over by any stretch of the imagination.
No idea what to expect out of the Colts week in, week out. None. No idea.
And Jonathan
They go and Matt Ryan goes and plays the best game without Jonathan Taylor this past weekend. How does that happen against the Jaguars, who shut them out literally no less than 3 weeks ago? No idea. But I just know in Nashville, they're not as good.
And it's so weird that, like, I believe that, like, this will be the fourth division game already for the Colts in their first 7 games. That's so weird to me. Spread it out a bit more. Yeah.
Fifth.
Are they 2-2 already? They're 3-1. No, they're 2-1.
We're 1-2-1.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
With the tie with the Texans, but this is the 5th one coming up. Isn't that crazy?
Well, then if we wind up beating y'all, that may actually mean that y'all may have the 3rd best record, because Jacksonville, did Houston beat Jacksonville?
They're 2-4 now. They're 2-4. Colts are 3-2-1.
Okay. Yeah.
But the only division game left for the Colts is the Texans at Lucas Oil.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go ahead and end this. I like the idea of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, love it. Any lasting thoughts? Homecoming, will you be heading to Knoxville cheering on?
I will not, unfortunately. I got some work here to do in good old West Tennessee, so I'll be holding it down here, but we'll be watching and enjoying, good sir.
I love it. We'll be, you know what? I'm not even guys giving you some love. You guys pick your 1 weekends to you guys figure it out, whether it's the weekend before Thanksgiving, and you guys play a team that's not even a P5 and not even in the FCS. Just figure it out.
To calm down. All right, gotcha. All right, I am a product of the school that is playing the Vols, so some good things come from them. Thank you very much, sir. So
I'm excited for the Hidden Hooker Heisman padded package coming around for this weekend.
We'll see. I want him to play about a quarter and then let him put those numbers up against Kentucky and Georgia the following 2 weeks. So.
There you go, good sir. All right, brother, it was awesome. Thank you for joining Chaos and Conversation. We are out.